Priscilla Thompson is at that site in Edinburgh, Texas. Priscilla, there were long lines of cars there today. I mean, clearly there is still a need. So why is this site closing?
Allison, thousands of people came through to get tested today, and this site was actually supposed to close on Tuesday, but was extended through the end of the week, through Friday, because of the need here. But one thing about these massive testing sites, the idea behind them is that they do come into communities where there is a surge in cases. They test as many people as possible for a week, or in this case, a week and a half, and then they leave. But what it does is that it gives the officials here an idea of the community spread, and they're able to then focus on containment and the idea of making sure that the virus doesn't blow up again, but that they can begin to bring that curve down. And, I actually spoke with the administrator who has been running this site day in and day out for the past week and a half, and he tells me that they've done more than 20,000 tests here, but that the need is very urgent here, and it's very important, particularly for this community. Take a listen to what he said.
I think that there needs to be continuation of testing. There's over 1.5 million people here in the Rio Grande Valley, which and not to mention the fact that we also are bordering another country, so there's probably in excess of 3 million across the border. That has a significant impact on the COVID-19 issues that we have going on. So continued testing is paramount in order to keep on identifying statistically where we sit and what we need to do as far as measures for the future.
Yeah. And the site has been closing at around noon since Tuesday. And I can tell you, in the few hours that we've been here since it closed, at least a half dozen people have come up hoping to be tested, only to have to turn around, some of them coming from quite far away to be tested. And so, I think that does give a sense of the need here. And hopefully those folks are able to get an appointment tomorrow to be tested before the site closes for good.
Priscilla, forgive me. I lost my FB for a moment, so I'm going to ask you the next question and get it dialed back in. What is the county's plan once this site opens? What kind of testing options do you anticipate will be available then for folks there who are still clearly in need of getting tested?
Well, a very important question there, Allison. So the county and the state and local officials here do typically stand up around 4 additional sites per day, but those sites only do 300 to 500 tests per day. And so that is not nearly the thousands that we were seeing happening at this mass testing site. And so I actually just spoke with the county judge, who tells me that they're in the process of finalizing a contract with the university here that's going to help them to beef up some of that testing. But it's important to remember here that while testing is a big concern, it isn't the only concern. Texas has been reporting record numbers of hospitalizations and death, and that impact is certainly being felt here. Take a listen to how the county judge described the situation to me.
I have never been in the combat zone when you have large number of people, of bodies. But golly, when funeral homes are telling me that they can handle 7 bodies, fairly easy, but they're having to deal with 18 or 25. Yes, that is a scary thing, and that's why we must find a solution to this problem.
And so in addition to sort of managing all these other things, the county judge tells me that he is really emphasizing prevention here, particularly in this community. It is a predominantly Latino community. He says there are a lot of folks who live in multi-generational homes where if someone comes home with the virus, it can spread pretty quickly. So he's really trying to promote the idea of the washing of the hands, the wearing of the mask, and sort of staying away from those large gatherings in order to contain the virus here in the valley. Allison?
Priscilla, I want to ask you about the governor. A lot of people have been wondering if he might shut down the state again. Here's what he said.
People are panicking, thinking I'm about to shut down Texas again. The answer is no, that is not the goal. I've been abundantly clear. All we need is for people to wear masks. If everyone wears a mask, nothing will be locked down.
So how are local officials reacting to that? Is that the news they want to hear?
certainly not the news that they want to hear, Allison. Local officials across the state have been calling for the governor to grant them the power to issue some sort of stay-at-home orders in their jurisdictions for weeks now, but that has not happened. And I want to point out that Governor Abbott made that statement that you just played hours after the state released a new daily record in terms of deaths and positive cases on yesterday. And so, you know, the doctors that I've spoken to have said that I think the next week is really going to be crucial in terms of what happens next here. You know, we saw the governor shut down bars about 3 weeks ago. He required that mandatory mask order 2 weeks ago. And that's around the time that doctors say we should begin to see the impacts of mitigation efforts. So this next week, if those numbers don't begin to come down, I think that the governor is going to have some decisions to make here, Allison.
Yeah, it sounds like he might. Priscilla Thompson in Texas, thank you so much.